Speaking of blowing things up and out, welcome to the Average Adventuring Party podcast, where things happen. Some people are in the closet, out of the closet, on the floor of the closet,
exploding in a closet.
Yeah, there's some premature detonations in the closet.
Look, I'm pretty sure that guy was all blood at that point, and the flood should have diluted it all.
Halo, not a sponsor, but Microsoft Studios if you want to be. So what happened last time, you guys?
We didn't die.
All I'm going to say is it ended with a warg called Fifi being let out with a leash. That's all that needs to be said.
Way too much shit happened.
We had to flood we had to flood Ruby's bathhouse, like her second or third favorite bathhouse, because the Sunchaser Sovereignty Guard that she tried to, show a good time, exploded because he was sworn to the Emperor, and so we flooded the place, and we left and went to a noodle
noodles.
Yeah, we got some nudes, and I think we're talking a lot about our plan to try to retrieve Shannara, and also probably Shannara's partners, Chiasa
Baby
and
daddy.
Kiyoshi. I mean, I wonder which one it was.
Definitely
So-
Chiasa.
So last episode was a whole lot of noodles and chill.
Did that include chasing down the bronze dragon dude?
I mean, yeah.
Oh, yeah, that too.
Yeah, I was gonna see if any of y'all remember that.
Yeah.
Yeah, Ardith got some new duds.
Well, I think I would have said that, but that would have been too impeccable of me.
You're funny, babe. So funny.
Funny looking.
Too many dad jokes from the three of you.
Are you including me in this?
No.
Okay.
These three.
The boys. Okay.
Yeah.
I'm
the
not a
boys.
dad.
It
Joke's
doesn't,
on
it
you.
None
doesn't
of us
matter.
are actually
You were all
fathers.
pet
Doesn't
dads.
matter.
I am not your father.
You're pet dads. It's close
But
enough.
with permission, you can call me Daddy.
No.
No.
Fuck no.
Okay, changing Galdrian's name on the GM roll sheet to Daddy.
Daddy's going to take some damage.
Yeah, when you have like 6 guys come at Daddy from behind.
In a fight, right?
I don't like
In
that.
a fight.
I thought you said in the butt, right?
No, I said in a fight.
I
I
don't
was
like
like,
it.
oh my god, great.
I regret everything.
You sure? You sure? Because we can keep going.
No, like more like the wearing cargo shorts and cutting up your hot dogs and mixing into your mac and cheese for you type dad.
So there is steam in this, like the steampunk kind of area, right? So trains are a thing, right?
Yes,
No.
they get
For Daddy.
They get ran quite a bit.
Yes, good. All right. I hear they're always on time.
So on that,
Oh my god.
I mean, on time.
Ray, you've met
on the
us.
back.
I
on the
know.
face.
You agreed to this.
You knew what was coming.
Stop
Obviously
it! Stop
not
it!
you.
Stop it! Stop it! Stop! You're all grounded.
Daddy,
Yes,
no.
You don't pay enough to call me that.
You walked right into that.
Oh, how much am I going to have to?
So much.
I know. Just keep it all. Keep it all. See if anyone notices.
So,
Back to the question, fuck.
If you're listening, though, please comment #Daddy.
hashtag Daddy Galdrian.
#Daddy Train.
He's
How to
We
train.
need the metrics.
I feel how to train your daddy might get us some extra views, but
oh man.
I hurt.
so once you guys calm down, we're gonna do something a little bit different today. When we last left our group, they were sort of deciding what their objectives were and how they were going to go about accomplishing them and in what order. But they realized that they lacked the most important piece of the puzzle, which was information.
Because we've only known each other for about 6 hours, and a lot has happened, and we barely know each other's names.
Are we going to get a montage?
We're going to get this really cool montage of each of you going into and out of various places of business. But mechanically, what's going to happen is this is your chance to ask me anything.
See, we are going to do an interrogation of you.
So now is the time. Now is the best time. Now is the best time of your lives. In service to whatever you guys are planning, you can ask me anything about anything that may be relevant.
So, I have a specific scene in mind.
Doesn't have to be a scene.
Okay. I know what the question is, but I want to integrate it with the scene.
Okay.
We still want to roleplay this shit a little bit.
Yeah.
A little bit.
Role play.
All right.
Yeah. It's not just for the bedroom. Daddy.
Plus, we don't want to spend just 45 minutes to an hour just launching questions back and forth.
Yeah.
I'm sure you do.
I mean,
There's questions.
We're going to do it. We're going to do it, but
So,
this is still a story.
here's what Ruby wants to know. Ruby is specifically curious about how she can break the Emperor's hold on or how we can break the Emperor's hold on the city before we get to the point where we have to kill him.
Mm-hmm.
How to weaken that to perhaps, win over a few of the guards that maybe are disillusioned but don't want to, explode.
Mm-hmm.
Convince some more people to break their oaths to the Emperor and not have them suffer terribly as a result of it.
Mm-hmm. So what the Ruby of Pain is able to deduce through her contacts is that there is some mechanism within the palace that all of the people who go there kind of, they get the feeling that the Emperor is able to use it to exert whatever control he does. So there's some object of power that he seems to be using. It does seem to be limited to Six-Way, as there were quite a few desertions outside of Six-Way, especially in the Enchanted Forest, where the Emperor didn't have access or control. So there's definitely something there that can be liberated or destroyed.
So when I cut to a scene where Ruby is dressed in a different kimono, the next day she is dressed in a one that is red with gold trim and has a very fine purple sash on, and when she's tied her hair back a bit and is communing with her tiefling contacts, because it's a very small network, and I assume it's like some sort of like telepathy type thing that's initiated by...
Basically, you can astrally project yourself at any time. And if you're seeking to meet with a particular tiefling, you make that known, and if they acquiesce to the meeting, they'll join you.
Got it. And so I think she reaches out to a few of them, but the one in particular that I would like to reach out to is Fossis.
Mm-hmm.
And I like to imagine that that they have a little bit of a back and forth, and she says to Fossis, "Oh, still gangly, I see."
Amongst other things, yes.
Well, I'm certain you'll be working on that. Sorry to bother you, but you've always been one of the most well known or most well informed of our little family, and I wanted to ask you if you had any insight into the Emperor of the Sun Chaser sovereignty and his ability to hold sway over his subjects.
Yes. I have knowledge. What's it worth to you?
Well, I certainly, you are certainly, I know that we all have our respective patrons, but your situation in particular has, as frustrating as it must be for you, has brought a great deal of appreciation from my own master, and I think he is amenable to pushing a finger on the scales for you, and I might be willing to help you with that.
I think, and he, even astrally, he appears to be writing in this overlarge book that's kind of floating in the air in front of him. He says, I might be, how you say, missing my quota this month. So let's just call it 100 simple souls.
I already have quite a few in mind, and I will end up with a few in excess. I think we can make that work. Just simple ones? You're not going for the big ones yet?
My master and I are at somewhat of a crossroads in our relationship. I am, how you say, doing the bare minimum. He looks up at you, and Fossus is particularly tall, gangly, purple-skinned. He has just white and black ringed eyes that are kind of bloodshot, and large antlers sticking out of the top of his head. He says, there's happenings in the works. So I just want to keep things on an even keel for the moment. So, yes, simple will suffice.
Understood. I can certainly make that happen. You've been reliable for me in the past, and I want to preserve that relationship.
Yes. You would do well to remember that in the future.
And I would really rather not work with you-know-who.
Oh, yes. Wait, which you-know-who?
Oh.
There are several that are.
Well, you-know-who, the one who will talk your ear off, and you-know-who, the one who kept her name. Neither of those.
Oh. He kind of eyes roll up a little bit. Sure, I suppose. They're slightly insufferable, but aren't we all?
It's not often that I say this, but that one needs therapy.
Oh, no amount of therapy will fix what's going on with her. I do hate to cut our meeting short, but... And he flips his book around. There's a name in red. There are several names in black written, and then one in red that's struck through. I have an appointment. I'll get you your information.
Much obliged. Speak to you soon.
What was that name?
It was, we'll say it was some kind of elven name.
Everyone's mind just goes somewhere, but that name probably has no meaning to
Anybody.
even if it's not the one that you all are thinking of. I'm just assuming it's a random name.
You...
Do you want me to make a roll?
No. I'm trying to think how long and how deep the Ruby of Pain's claws go into the city?
I'd say pretty deep. She's something of like a local business owner who.
I'll say, recognize that name as one of the rumored names of the emperor.
Interesting. Very interesting. So.
When Ruby opens her eyes, in her hand is a very nicely bound red and black leather book that's just got like a little, leather tie cinch on it.
Pleasure doing business. I'll uphold my end of the bargain with gusto.
Mm-hmm.
Question. So there's been discussion that the wedding and the executions may be at different times.
Mm-hmm.
So what Me-Dra's going to be doing is he's going to, try and figure out who we could talk to that arranges the schedule, who can coordinate the wedding, who does the executions, if it's the same person, different people. He's trying to make those connections to the goal of he's trying to bring put out the idea and make it seem like it's theirs. Like, oh yeah, this would be a great idea of combining those two functions.
So Me-Dra is able to get with several caterers who appear to be outsourcing some of the work to local businesses. Someone in the Imperial Palace is guiding that effort for the wedding, for Shannara's wedding to one of the other royal sons. A third person is guiding the Prince Sugihara birthday / tribute that's coming up in a few days, which is where there's rumored to be an execution that's going to take place. Without actually infiltrating the palace, there's no way to influence those two events.
Could I attempt that?
You would have to give me a really, really, really good reason as to why you wouldn't be discovered, because you stand out completely and entirely.
Fantastic disguise skills. Because I would not be wearing my mask. I would go with another disguise.
Mm-hmm.
Mainly the statuary.
Mm-hmm.
I could make a roll for it.
Yeah, I'll say give me a good infiltration roll.
So would that be level plus the bonus?
Yes.
Okay. All right. So plus 7. Don't fuck me. That is a 19 plus 7, so 26 infiltrating.
Okay. So, Me-Dra gets into the palace, and through very clever disguise...
I would actually probably disguise myself as a caterer, because there's so much events going on. So, all silliness aside, that's the way that I would go as a
just at
functionary.
any given point, you're walking down a hallway, someone comes and you just pick something up and put it on your shoulder to block their view of you.
Yeah.
Act like he belongs.
Yes.
Yeah.
Essentially, that's it. I'm walking with purpose and confidence. I totally belong here.
Mm-hmm.
Sorry.
What Me-Dra finds out is that up the chain, you kind of work your way until you realize at one point you find yourself in the room with several people who are, coordinating various events. So it's not just these two. These are the two biggest things coming up. But there's the normal holidays and parades and shows of force, etc. So everybody's kind of coordinating it. Me-Dra finds himself in a room with all of these people and the Emperor, who is a particularly young-looking elf. He has a really dashing goatee and a mustache.
Wait a minute.
He has long hair that's tied up in a bun, and he's wearing a very like ceremonial suit of what's it called? The samurai armor. I forget what it's called. He's wearing samurai armor.
Yeah, we'll just go with that.
Yes.
We'll go with that and make it seem like I knew what I was talking about the whole time. Right. So he's wearing this set of ceremonial, very light-looking samurai armor, and he seems to be personally directing all of these people. When someone, says, "Let's do something this way or that way," he makes it very clear if it is against his wishes, and directs them to do it the way that he gave them. He seems to be taking a personal hand in all of these events.
I am only thinking about the item that I'm carrying. That is my whole thought process. And saying, don't fuck up, don't fuck up, don't fuck up, don't fuck up. So if he can read my thoughts, he thinks I'm just a very lowly peon in the presence of the Emperor.
Probably several people in that room are thinking, don't fuck up.
Exactly, yes.
At a certain point, Me-Dra, goes to pick up a box, turns around, and the Emperor is standing directly in front of him.
Don't fuck up, don't fuck up.
Who, looks him up and down, seems uninterested, and then just directs him to a corner to put that box down.
Ding. And then I will very confidently wait for my turn to leave the room and then book it the fuck out of there. Confidently.
Me-Dra's like, well, on my break. Going to smoke one of those cancer sticks, like the humans.
So yes, that was my question for now.
So, anybody else?
Do you want to go, Ray?
I guess my question would be, is there a possibility that Marisala would have any ties to either Suna or her parents or anything, as, being an exotic animal collector? And I imagine they're kind of exotic looking beings.
None whatsoever.
None.
So Marisala is from the border towns. There's a very tacit agreement that those citizens don't cross the sovereignty borders, and the Enchanted Forest is squarely in the middle of the sovereignty.
So is there... Okay. So maybe not them directly, but maybe something else exotic that, may have been talkative when I picked them up to take them and sell them or something, to where I might have heard at least some of the Emperor trying to take magic into the forest, or, some of the soldiers, actually building forts in the forest. I may have heard something along those lines.
So kind of tell me what you're looking for. Not a general situation, but specifically what information you're looking for.
Just some type of information to be able to give Ardith a little bit more idea that there may be somebody that could take the Emperor's place. That I've heard rumors, or if not something like that, then maybe some changes are happening amongst the ranks out there or something. I don't know. Just something to give them hope that there is, others out there that may be trying to get to the Emperor.
Mm-hmm. So what Suna... What Suna? Thanks for putting that in my head.
Wrong furry.
Yeah, stop playing furries.
I mean, apparently I like it.
Really?
What Marisala finds is kind of twofold. So first, she actually comes across what seems to be a new monument to all of those lost in the war in the Enchanted Forest. It's got an appropriately cool, statue of several glorious sovereignty soldiers fighting off some crazed fey beasties, and there are these little lights just all around it. And if you touch any given one, it kind of displays a face and, shows that person's name, rank, and whether they were killed in action or missing in action. There are significant deaths, but there are quite a few more missing in action. And it gives a last location known for those. There are a lot of families around. So when I say a lot of these little lights, like there are tens of thousands of them. So that's the first thing you find. It seems like the Enchanted Forest campaign was kind of spun as a stalemate, but nobody suffers those kinds of losses and then just walks away from it. The second thing you find, you're fairly good at sneaking around. Especially in the inns and taverns, you find quite a few ex-soldiers talking in a roundabout manner about all of their comrades who left to find other work and become independent contractors outside of the sovereignty. And that's where the money is, which you're able to read into as desertion.
Mm-hmm.
Does that answer your question?
Yes.
Morale's low as shit.
Yes.
Yeah.
That's what happens with special military. Oh, wait.
with policing actions to defeify the Enchanted Forest.
And I also kind of want to listen around for whereabouts do they keep the exotic animals that, I might be able to hopefully
there's
flip off and get one.
Multiple zoos within the city if you were looking for something just to view.
Yeah, no.
As far as like personal collections, the emperor keeps on the palace grounds, but not within the palace itself. He keeps both a private zoo and a personal collection and a personal stable, in addition to like the actual palace usage stuff.
Where's the wedding going to be?
The wedding is going to be on the palace grounds, and there are some, from what you overhear, some plans to magically broadcast that so that any citizen who wants to watch the wedding can watch the wedding.
And is it by invitation only that I assume would be
To get onto the grounds
to
itself?
get onto the
Yes.
grounds? And is there a special thing about the invitations? Do they have something that, they can't be copied because they have, barcodes or something, something?
Yes, they have magical barcodes.
Wave a wand over it. Bloop. By some disinterested elf. Bloop.
No, what your understanding of it is, and probably having attended at least one, Ruby can later confirm. It is basically if you're there and someone doesn't know you, they're gonna investigate you and find out how you got in. Which is pretty much you have to know somebody.
Good thing we know Ruby.
I work here. I don't know what you're talking about. They haven't paid me in a month.
It helps to blow people. I mean, no.
You guys get paid?
That's
Oh.
my stapler.
And I guess I need to also figure out a way to disguise myself a little better. I don't know how, though.
Think on it, and we might
Yeah.
come back
I was gonna
around.
say-
Is anybody walking pets?
yeah, but I don't know that I look like a pet.
People are walking pets. The problem is that
She eats pets.
Yeah, we know that.
you know how we have boogeyman stories?
Uh-huh.
There are warg stories that are similar within the sovereignty. Like, they are nightmare shock troops that the border towns use frequently. It will be very difficult to disguise what she is outside of putting her like in a horse costume.
Oh! I could be a horsey. It's better than a foo-foo. Or what was it? Fifi?
Fifi.
Yeah.
I'm glad you're learning your name.
Me-Dra just like passes by out of an alley and pops a treat into her mouth.
Click.
Oh, clicker training your warg.
Oh, no.
Well, there's the episode title. How to Train Your Worgen.
Okay.
You're up.
I'm up? Okay. So Ardith has probably been running on fumes and coffee for the past at least 3 days. Mm-hmm. So she spent most of the morning passed out.
Yeah.
But I do want to summon up Death and interrogate him.
Yeah.
Mostly about details about where they're holding Kiyoshi and Chiasu. And what the security on Shannara and her daily stuff and that one tunnel that actually that one secret tunnel, if it's under more guard or is it cleared out by now?
Yeah, so Death appears when you call him, and he has a mildly annoyed look on his face. It's like, oh, you're still alive. I mean, of course you're still alive.
You sound so surprised. Were you
Well,
expecting something?
I thought that waterfall would do the trick, but
Makes me feel like you're interrupting his soap operas, like you just called him during his shows.
He's
I mean-
just watching a skeleton telenovela.
I
Skeletal telenovela. Put it on the banned list.
I'm sorry to disappoint.
I'm used to it from your family by now.
Oh no, what has she done now?
Oh, well, she spent the better part of last night yelling about you. And how you were stupid and the Emperor knows you're here and whatever harebrained scheme you're going to get up to is bound to fail.
Oh wow, she is so confident in me.
Well, don't hold it against her. She's probably just trying to dissuade the Emperor from pursuing you further.
That's possible.
I mean, I don't think it will stop him.
Neither do I.
So are we just having a social call? Not that I mind.
I thought you'd want a break from her.
I do. I was just confirming that you didn't need me for anything, and he pops his little stool out and sits down.
Oh no, I do want to ask you some questions. But
Damn your family. I just want you to know that.
seems to be a normal sentiment, especially when I'm involved. Or my mother.
I haven't had the pleasure, but if she's anything like you or your sister,
Stick around, you just might.
I doubt I ever will.
oh joy. It's what I've always wanted. Another one of you.
I mean, look at that. Look at it this way. We left to get away from her for a little bit.
Is that supposed to be comforting or?
No.
Oh.
I just wanted to see the look on your face. Such as it is.
Yeah, he just stares at you with empty eye sockets.
If a skeleton could frown.
He can frown, and that's the problem.
He's very emotive for a skeleton.
He has no eyebrows, and yet somehow they furrow up.
Well, first of all, do you mind me asking questions?
He
It's a
gestures.
question.
He gestures around.
Again,
I don't have anything else to do.
except listen to my sister.
Yes, ask some questions, by all means.
Because I can send you back to her if you'd rather not talk to me.
I'd like to see you try. And he sits his butt down on a stool. You can't make me.
I bet I could, but I'm not going to. Alrighty. What can you tell me about where they're holding Kiyoshi and Chiasu?
Oh. The commander and lieutenant commander, yes.
Yes, sir.
Well, I tell you what. I would like you to at least suffer for the information. So if you wouldn't mind drawing a drop of blood for me, I would be most appreciative.
What for? You need that.
Oh, I don't.
You just want me to bleed for you. Is that it?
Seems reasonable.
Sure.
I can't do it myself.
That is true.
Oh.
I'm nothing if not self-aware. I recognize my limitations.
But you sure had a fun time harassing us that one.
Well, that was before I knew that you were a bunch of lousy cheaters.
I'm sorry if that we outsmarted you and were clever occasionally.
A stopped clock and all that.
We're still alive. So we'll take it. Ardith's gonna, just as she's saying all this, like take out a knife and just prick her finger and just no deadpan, no reaction to it. Happy?
He like one bony hand comes up and he kind of gives you that like more gesture.
Squeeze.
Well, that'll do.
Put it in his tea.
He says the commander and lieutenant commander are being held at a prison facility on the grounds of the palace, some ways away from the main palace. Your sister was only allowed to visit them once after their arrest, and that's assuming they're still there. Under heavy lock and key with all of the other high-value prisoners.
What was the security like in there?
Yes.
Yes. Yes. What?
I mean,
Or yes, smarter than your average bear.
you should be able to handle it. I wouldn't think more than a few.
He would never mislead us to get you to die.
And under his breath is a dozen guards.
Dozen guards. Yeah, I could probably handle that.
In a fight, right?
Yes. Yes, you've met Ardith in a fight.
Oh,
In their sleep.
With a stick?
Yes.
Oh, I suppose in the interest of full disclosure, there are those soulless things as well.
What are those anyway?
I don't know.
They,
Never seen anything like that before in my life. Just that when I was near them, they could sense me, and I could sense that they had no soul.
in your life or your death? That you've never seen one of these.
It's a very good question.
you're just fucking with this guy.
A little bit, yes.
As I have been present on this mortal coil for the past several months, I have not seen anything like them.
The closest thing I've ever seen to them were zombies. And one very unhappy lich.
I think they're still alive, just soulless.
Is that really alive?
What is life, one might argue?
You would be one to argue that.
Baby, don't hurt me.
He shrugs. Not my place to say. Mm-hmm. As your sister would say, different strokes.
She would. Now, especially.
For different Kiyoshis.
So how's the security on my sister now?
The same.
Same?
Give or take.
Give or take?
How many?
Are they missing a few?
No, they just... depends on if her husband-to-be is in residence or not.
Oh.
He visits sometimes.
Is he the one who owns that villa?
Yes.
Which one is he?
Oh, I don't know.
They all look alike.
You fleshies are very similar.
They all
Well, I
look
thought you would catch a name.
Listen, the things I have seen in those rooms are equal parts horrifying and fascinating. So when someone comes in to just say his name and title and how appreciative, blah, 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 I just kind of tune it out.
Oh, so the threesome's more interesting.
It was horrifying.
The creation of life is the antithesis.
If it makes you feel better, I'm never going to let her live that down.
Well, he's just 1,000-yard stare.
I mean, Ardith is amused and delighted by this, by fucking with this guy.
He fucked with us, time to fuck with him.
Yes. So that one passageway you let me out of, is it now heavily guarded?
Oh, no, they collapsed it.
Ah, fuck.
The other one's fine, though.
The other one goes to the palace, correct?
Yes, it's for the princeling to make his escape to and from the palace should he need to. Mm-hmm. I promise I didn't tell them where you were. I couldn't.
I was pushing my luck a little.
Yes. You seem to have been awfully lucky to have made it into the villa.
I know, right?
How bizarre. It seems like your timing was impeccable.
Right, you are. I'm just going to buy him a beer.
He just kind of, when you say that, just kind of like narrows his eye sockets at you.
What?
You say that with a smugness that I can only assume means you know something that I do not.
Possibly. I'm not going to assume what you do or do not know.
You and your sister are insufferable, and I hope you die.
I mean, that's been your goal since we met you. So nothing's changed.
It's not my fault that I am designed for a singular purpose.
Mm-hmm. And that you annoyed my sister enough to try to blink you out of existence.
Yes, she is likewise a dirty cheater. And I should not have let her read the contract.
Oh, you let her read it.
I have to, if requested, produce it.
I'll keep that in mind.
You yourself have looked through it.
Did we?
Yes.
Yes.
Okay, I don't remember. It's been a hot minute since we were in the caldera and things weren't exploding. Okay, you might not be able to answer this one, but I feel like I have to ask. Does she want the baby?
He, shrugs a little bit and then goes to say something and then stops and then points at another one of your fingers.
Stab. Squish.
Well, at least one of us is getting something out of this. From what I can tell, yes.
Okay, then I don't have to kick her ass.
It was what you might call a happy accident.
Okay.
Apparently one of her precautionary potions failed to activate the way it was supposed to. She was nigh inconsolable for days.
I bet that.
I honestly believe she was more upset at the fact that her creation failed than the
Yeah.
pregnancy.
Yeah, I can see that.
She should have had a backup plan.
Oh, we're not gonna put that in.
You're probably gonna want to cut that one.
Yeah. Mike, I will throw a dice at you. And it'll be the pointy one.
I call this potion Plan B.
Well, we still have to kick her ass over that.
Okay.
You good there, Mike?
I am
You sure?
under control. Back to normal. As long as I don't look at anyone. I'm good.
Dice are pretty over there, huh? Is that
Very.
true? Yeah.
Very.
And I've lost my train of thought.
Oh,
Thanks, Mike.
Not having to beat Shannara over accidentally getting pregnant.
No, not having to beat Shannara over purposefully getting pregnant to use the baby as a pawn to get rid of death.
Mm-hmm.
Because, Ardith kind of has a thing about parents using their children as pawns. I can't imagine why. Can you?
Gary's just looking away.
My, what fine yet rustic architecture.
If you look at the dice, it helps.
Anything else we need to know about those two things that you guys can think of?
Not for me.
I'm running out of ideas here. Or specific things to ask for.
Yeah, if you're done with death, there's something else that Ruby might look into.
Okay.
Me-Dra as well.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay.
Do you want me to see if you want me to raid Ruby's stash and see if I can find you some more tea, or maybe some good stuff?
He reaches up his sleeve and just pulls out a giant cake of tea and says,
No, you're good.
benefit of the quirks of my creation.
That's not bad benefit.
I thought it rather odd when I was first created, but I've come to enjoy it.
Apparently. I might have more questions later, if you don't mind.
He kind of gestures around.
I know, you have nothing better to do except listen to my sister.
Actually, I might just follow you around for a little while if you don't mind.
I'm sure it'll be entertaining.
I'm sure she's still yelling about you.
Oh, she can yell all she wants.
At which point he blips out of existence. Blips right back. Yes, she's still yelling about you.
Good.
I've got a question for you. Can the Emperor detect him?
Oh, yeah. Has the Emperor noticed you? Has anyone noticed you besides the Soulless?
Not that I'm aware of. I haven't found myself in the presence of the Emperor just yet.
Well, that's going to change if this wedding goes off.
Yes.
Can you have you been able to follow anybody else?
In general?
I mean, the rest of the party.
Oh.
I guess Suna.
No.
Galdrian.
I lost track of them when they forcefully and rapidly evacuated the caldera.
Uh-huh. Interestingly enough, seems like Suna's stirring up things in the Enchanted Forest.
Go bother her.
Interesting.
Yes. That's about all I have for that.
What direction is that? Would it be west by chance?
yep.
Yes.
Oh. Well, I think she died. So I wouldn't hold my breath there.
It's Suna we're talking about here. She's chaos incarnate. I wouldn't hold your breath.
I honestly think she was one of the more stabilizing forces in your group.
How do you figure that?
She had a one-track mind.
2 tracks, murder and cookies.
They sometimes crossed murder for cookies.
Yes.
Just saying, the rest of you are complex individuals, and
Not entirely of our own choosing, but we do what we have to.
so where are we going? He folds up his little stool and tucks it back under his robe.
I am going to find out what time it is. Something to eat, and then see where everyone else is.
Oh, it's still early. They haven't even rang the first morning bell.
Ah. Okay, I didn't sleep as long as I thought. Good.
I'm sorry, the second morning bell.
Still not as bad as it could be.
If you say so.
I would have been up before dawn if we didn't fall asleep. If I didn't get to bed after 2.
Oh.
It's been a long 6 months.
He just, like, swivels to face you.
Oh, wait, you know that.
Yes, tell me about it.
Please, anything that's not Shannara.
Okay. Let's go then. And off to find those two things. See what time it is, actually. Food, and then where everybody else is. So, anybody else has questions, you're up.
Yeah, so as Ardith walks off, Death just follows about 5 steps behind her and is passing through everyone he walks through.
With Me-Dra, as he's leaving, I'm gonna jump in and let you go next. So with the execution, I'm gonna try and find out information on who the executioner is, and is that appointed by the Emperor, or is that just it's Bob's Tuesday? Basically, I want to try and get information on how I can either who I need to bribe, borrow, convince, whatever. I want that shift.
It's going to be the Emperor. He is going to do it personally as a tribute to his late son. He is going to kill their assassins.
I'd say fuck that guy, but I'm still in the castle, and he might hear the thoughts, so don't fuck up, don't fuck up, don't fuck up, don't fuck up. Don't fuck up that guy. Don't fuck up, don't fuck up. That was my question.
Mm-hmm.
So, Ruby was going to find out if there are any, if there's going to be any external ceremonies, such as poets or reciting anything, or musicians or anything doing tributes to Sugihara at his funeral. And if they're still taking applications.
It's not going to be how you say, there's not going to be any entertainment like that. It is going to be effectively, from what you can see, it's going to be a public service announcement, a call for, a day of mourning and tribute to the late Prince Sugihara, and then the Emperor is going to execute Kiyoshi and Chiasa where everybody can see.
Okay, so I think at that point, what Ruby's going to shift her focus toward is trying to figure out where exactly it's going to be happening, and how many contacts of her she can use, and what contacts they have to get some sort of to basically create potential diversions there.
Mm-hmm. So Ruby can get an invitation if she so chooses, because just the people she knows. There's going to be like a small event, which is why the caterers were there. As far as diversions go, you're going to have to play it by ear, because they haven't set anything up for it as of yet. It's still several days out. But it's going to take place likely within whatever prison they're being held in.
Okay.
At least the execution portion of it.
So that's good to know. And I think one of the things that she is going to go ahead and try to do is knowing she still doesn't know a lot about Me-Dra, but she does know Marisala has some very specific goals. Mm-hmm. She's going to see if she has any contacts in the Emperor's stables or anything like that. You know, not the guards, but like the people that feed the animals. And try to find out if they're bound to the Emperor as well, or if he's just focusing on the guards and the military.
So it's kind of nebulous, but it appears to be based on intent. If someone is, say, just kind of generally rabble-rousing, it's not going to draw the Emperor's attention fully. If someone is, actively plotting to overthrow the Emperor or rebel against him, something like that, that seems to be when the more extreme measures kick in.
So I think what Ruby gathers then is that if she can get fake orders to people so that they think that they are serving the Emperor, they will go completely unnoticed.
Seems like a reasonable assumption based on the information she has.
So she's going to get to work forging some orders.
Okay.
I have 2 more questions.
Well, you only get one.
Well, too bad. So, do we know, I don't know if this has already been asked, do we know which son of his is marrying Shannara?
It's one of the lesser sons.
Does he want
insult.
to? Is he all for this?
The son?
Yes.
No. Think of it this way. If a royal house uses its children like bargaining chips, right? At least that son or daughter is getting basically a comparable match. So, like, if they're being sold off, married off to another country or another city or another royal house, their family gets something and then they get someone who has a similar upbringing, similar expectations. They're basically asking him to marry a criminal.
So he is not happy at all with the
Yeah,
arrangements.
He can probably also guess that as a criminal, somebody's coming. Like, it doesn't end happily. And he's got a nice target painted on him. And if he doesn't figure that because he's a 1%er, well, we can send a letter.
I mean, and from the authority side, that would be an insult
Yeah.
because lesser son and higher ranking daughter.
Yeah, this is like, 50th or 60th down the line.
How many kids does this guy have?
Emperor gets busy.
The Emperor has, I think we previously said, somewhere between 50 and 100 direct children
Damn.
that he recognizes.
Doesn't include the bastards.
Yeah.
So then my other question, which I don't know that this is all possible, but I'm going to throw it out there. So you said that wargs are like boogeymans, right?
Yes.
Okay. So would it be possible to maybe put it in the Emperor's ear? Like he heard rumors or something among staff talking or something like that? That maybe there was a warg around, and that if only the most powerful emperor that they are could control the warg. And oh my god, how scary would that be if he used the wargs to execute Kyoshi and Chasi? See what the warg can do? Attack!
I will certainly let you make yourself be known. if you would like to take that tact.
No.
Guys, there's a warg pissing on the corner. You do something about it. No, you do something about it. Go tell the Emperor.
Guard rounds the corner. Marisala is just peeing on a fire hydrant. Little spectral hand gives the finger.
Do something about it.
I eat elves like you for breakfast. No, I really do.
So yes, if you would like to make yourself known,
Now that you say that, it sounds like a terrible idea.
I'm thinking.
Yeah.
that is the Gary tone that says,
Yeah.
you can do it. I'm not
recommend
stopping
it.
you.
no, that is the Gary tone that says this is your character. You can do with it as you choose, and I am not giving you good, bad, or other.
But specifically, that's when you're about to fuck up. Yes, yes.
Yes.
Okay. I have more of a question for the table. Ruby, has she read through the information that Foster's got her yet
Oh, yeah.
about the thing in the palace?
Yeah, she is very motivated.
Me-Dra, you still in the palace?
I mean, yeah, I can be. Yes, I was on my way out, but yeah,
We
I
have
can.
sending. We have a sending stone.
Yeah.
Yeah.
We do have sending stones.
Ruby could have you try to check that out
Okay.
while you're there.
Yeah, I assume that you would have told.
All the mechanics are there. I mean, I have no problem.
So Ruby says, Me-Dra, darling, are you still in the palace by any chance?
Don't fuck up, 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 don't fuck up.
I need you to check out something for me. And she flips through the book. Says, yes. Oh, this is very interesting. There is a device that
I don't know where the royal sex toys are.
You even know what a sex toy is?
He is one. He's
Yes,
a bard.
he has several attachments.
He is one.
We'll revisit that later. Privately. Where in the writings that I got, does it say where it might be located or anything like that? Mm-hmm. So I will give very specific instructions, but also probably phrase everything so vaguely. I just need you to check it out and see how clear the path is. And
Well, I'll try and follow her directions. While I am geared as a caterer, I'm going to try and find the hallways that are uninhabited. I'm going to use Me-Dra's ability to actually see through walls. I'm not walking through walls right now. I can just see normally.
There could be servant corridors.
That's what I'm looking for. Is I'm going to try and find this room if I can. Trying to avoid the most populated areas. What would do? I need to roll anything? Am I able to do something like that?
So you're able to get to a servant's quarters, no problem.
No.
You're fairly good at infiltrating, surprisingly. The device that the Sublime Ruby of Pain describes to you is a crystalline chair that's laced with some kind of star metal. And it is vaguely around the Emperor's quarters. That's where the book it has a lot of details on the schematics of the device, which is to say, as long as the Emperor is in it, he doesn't need to have any kind of interaction with the mortal world. He can just have control over his city. And he spends most of his time in it.
Right now, he's coordinating caterers and all of that.
Yeah, he still leaves this device to oversee things personally. But it's linked to all of the walking gods. It's a combination of his abilities and their just vast resources and powers are fueling it.
When Ruby is reading these schematics, does it say anything about what would happen if someone else sits on the chair?
Yes, surprisingly. A couple of his more ambitious heirs tried to take it from him. And as soon as the walking gods found out, they just evaporated their soul.
Question: does Me-Dra have a soul?
Surprisingly, yes.
Yeah.
And the thing about Me-Dra is it's actually like in a compartment in his body.
Oh, shit.
Take this out. Set this over here. Can't evaporate this shit.
Is it separate from the core that needs to go boom?
That's a great question. How's your mechanics skill?
No, I'm just asking in general, out of character for my own
We don't
comfort
know.
here.
We don't know.
We don't know. You're not going to tell us?
Does the book say anything about anybody having tried to grab the Emperor and sit on it with him on the lap?
Oh, puppy!
Well, we're back around to Daddy.
Y'all are not going in
No.
the same, he can explode with them.
Fossis has a lot of notes.
No, just a mental
He-
image.
He theorized that if with enough time you could attune it to another being, but that being would have to be sufficiently able to channel the powers and potentially fight against 12 gods for control of it, unless, they came to some agreement, which is just his conjecture. Also, the device could be destroyed relatively easily, actually. But he doesn't know what would happen to all of that power that it's linked to. The walking gods are a bit of a contradiction and conundrum as far as deific beings go. So,
How much time is it talking about, though, on the attunement?
no idea. This is just his theory stating, if it's like any other magic item, theoretically, unless there's something specifically in place to stop you, you could probably take it over. As far as he knows, it's just an item that the Emperor has and attuned himself for a specific purpose.
Ruby's going to go ahead and start doing some recruiting then. Finding some souls of the simple variety.
There's always plenty of people who are down and out in Six Way who are looking for an out of.
Let's make a deal.
Yeah.
She gets very busy, starts saying, okay, you need to bring, so I bring you, and then you bring 2 people, and they...
Multi-level marketing?
Each of those 2 people gives us $10 and then brings 2 people.
This seems like a scheme. A little triangular, but it builds upon
It's
itself.
an inverted triangle
Yeah.
shape.
Yes.
It's not a pyramid scheme. Pyramid schemes build down. We build up.
I'm at the bottom supporting everyone else. She's used to being on bottom. And, but that's what she's going to do, starting to make good on her deal with Fossis. And also, taking a percentage off the top. Not that she's going to take more, that Fossis isn't getting 100 simple souls, but that she's also going to try to
Here's
get.
2 souls for you, 1 soul for me.
Yes,
For
just
you,
like that.
1 for me.
She can be very ambitious. She can handle a lot at once.
What?
I would like to think that, she's very sort of laid back in her normal recruitment. So this is her going into aggressive mode.
Yeah, she doesn't usually try to recruit proactively, but she does get aggressive in her business. And so now she's doing the opposite.
I did have one final question about the chair. Was it reacting around me? You said star metal. Did that have any reaction with?
No, you're not able to get in the same room with it, but
Okay.
you can see through
Yeah.
the walls and you can see it.
Okay.
It's basically in an antechamber.
Is there anyone else in there, like guards posted up, or just...
They just assumed that Emperor's the only one powerful enough to use the damn thing. Okay, I have a question about the chair that might be in Ruby's book. Mm-hmm. Is it technically the pillar, or is the Emperor?
That's not in the book.
Okay.
But multiple times he has been described as the pillar.
I just wanted to make sure that wasn't actually the thing.
Mm.
That's all the questions that I have currently.
Yeah, I think it's time to start getting these balls rolling. Just roll them around in our hands and just get a feel for them, feel the weight.
Don't fuck up, don't fuck up, don't fuck up.
I mean, I've got more questions, but it'd have to be wait till later because it's Graffiti Kid.
Mm-hmm. So,
but I was going to say, is our Marisala or Me-Dra back?
Yeah.
From whatever they're doing?
So we'll end this montage with everybody meeting up at their favorite noodle joint since the local sauna is out of commission.
Yeah. Get a new bone.
Getting the bone, send me nudes.
So as they enter the back office, I'm going to say Ardith has one of those cool like string and post-it note type boards. What are Ardith's objectives, and in what order?
All right, by priority or what we need to get done first?
Sure. If Ardith were to put together a step-by-step comprehensive 10-part plan to get all of her stuff done, what would it be?
Like Ardith is that organized.
No, Ardith would be that organized.
Yeah.
She has blackmail material hidden in her room back in, what's it? Dying slowly from past jobs, because if you're gonna do something, you're gonna do it fucking right. Mm-hmm. Also, her mom's in possession of those, just in case. Blackmail.
I think, with your permission, Ruby would be helping.
Yes.
So I think what we settle on, step one, is that the most important objective and most immediate one is preventing the assassination or preventing the execution. And but in order to do that, we need to disrupt the power of the chair. Mm-hmm. We need to...
Plus, to get Shannara out, we need to disrupt the power of that chair.
We need to create some sort of diversion during the execution, something that draws the Emperor's attention away from the execution, makes it less urgent.
So somebody to infiltrate the chair and attack the chair. Mm-hmm. Somebody to distract the Emperor. And maybe at the same time, since he's the executioner, stop the execution.
Mm-hmm. And it's either we stop the execution or we get them out of that prison before the execution.
Oh. And then I think...
At the execution, all of our objectives are going to be there at the same place. Yeah. But there is that saying about, eggs in a basket.
And on getting away from the execution, we need to swing down that tunnel.
Yeah.
Grab Shannara. So, she's the...
unless she's there.
Unless she's at the execution, but backup plan. If she's not there, then we go down and utilize that as an exit.
I'd say we utilize that as an exit either way.
Yes.
So yeah, it's basically save Shannara, save Kiyoshi and Chiasu, because Shannara's not leaving without them.
Hide distraction.
And get an exotic animal.
Yes,
it's got to be last on the list.
And
yeah,
I think there's also going to be a mass escape or mass release of some of the Emperor's favorite animals.
Yeah.
Hey.
As part of that distraction.
Hey, that is a cool distraction.
Ruby's got your back, Marisala.
I like that distraction.
Yeah.
If I just, pick one up. I'm getting them. Don't worry.
You just see this little chihuahua in a spectral hand. And the warg is sitting here running, and the chihuahua's oh god, what the fuck is happening?
I'm just imagining Marisala carrying it by the scruff of its neck like a cat mom.
I could be a herding dog. Herding warg.
That's kind of overkill.
There's only one kind of herding you do, and it has URT in it.
Maybe.
Is that everything we need to do? Or,
In broad strokes, yes.
In broad
Yes.
strokes, yeah. Which, you know,
We'll
Ruby,
figure it out.
it's gonna fall apart.
Ruby
the
does a
second.
lot of stroking. She's used to making things up.
Just
Not
like-
going on the well. There's might be a little sticky note like off to the side that's not really. You know, what's the word I'm looking for here?
As
Graffiti kid.
Well, that's somewhere else. That's just like a note to herself and not really a part of this gigantic mess. And it says, talk to Marisala and talk to Me-Dra, sorry. Because she wants a moment alone with both of you. Just not right this second.
Yeah, so that's where we'll end is Me-Dra and Marisala walking in on
String
Ruby and Ardith
string theory mess.
setting up a plan on one of the walls.
I imagine the strings are noodles.
The things are not pins; they're forks.
No, they're all
Low
daggers.
main going this way.
Just a chopstick that Ardith has angrily stabbed into a wall.
She could have sharpened.
Yeah, probably did.
You know, Ruby caters to such a wide clientele. I'm sure she's got like all metal sharpened chopsticks.
Yeah, she probably does.
Keeps them in her hair.
That's true too.
She's got to keep her hair up because otherwise,
I mean, if you want a concealable stabbing weapon, ta-da!
And it's, sexy to pull them out slowly and let your hair fall down. We know she likes to use tricks like that.
There's no trickery involved when she... Never mind.
once you get their pants off, you don't have to trick them
it's
to do
called
anything.
wiles, not trickery.
Oh, okay.
Wiles.
It's only trickery if you're on the receiving end of it.
And getting stabbed.
And she
not
does
a fun
all the
way.
receiving.
So speaking of receiving, that's all I've got. You should gift us reviews so that we can receive them.
Yes.
Yes.
Find us at the places, do the things.
Call Galdrian Daddy.
Oh, yeah, daddy train, hashtag.
Yeah. Hashtag Daddy Train.
No, hashtag Daddy Galdrian.
He'll show up at your house in cargo shorts and a band T-shirt and cut up your hot dogs and mix them in with your mac and cheese for you.
At least he doesn't play his jazz, because then it'd be hashtag swinging bard, We do mouth stuff for money. Remember that. See you next time.
F-bombs, please. F-bombs.
Yeah, sponsor F-bombs, all the usual stuff. That's all I got, you degenerates. Thanks for listening. We'll see you guys next time.